Hi, welcome to this video about Omen or The Omen by Herzlich Labs. This is by no means an extensive playthrough. I will probably do one of those at a later point, but I wanted to make this quick video about The Omen. LB from Herzlich Labs was so kind to send me this unit all the way from Copenhagen, Denmark, so I could explore it a little bit and make some kind of video about it, showcasing the sound of The Omen. The Omen is a dual passive resonant low-pass gate. And yes, you heard that right, it is passive, there's no power going into The Omen. And still it has a really nice resonant barky character to it, especially when you use the two channels linked together. Let me first monitor the sound that I'm going to send through here. This is the ramp or saw wave coming from the Rides in the Storm DOC, which has a very nice sounding saw wave. Later I will add a sequence to it. Just a simple 6-step sequence. But let's connect the saw wave into the first channel of Omen. Let's connect the first output. And by doing this, you're just using one channel of Omen. I will demonstrate the sound of the lower one as well, because there's really a big difference in sound between the two. And you can link these, because the signal input and the CV input of the second channel are normaled to the input and the CV input of the first channel. I'm sending in a gate pattern with a few ratchets in there, some short gates and some a little bit longer. So you can hear how this low pass gate reacts to that. There's a little volume cut, but it's really not that much. Now, of course, we Eurorec users or abusers, where we see a knob, we want to turn it. So let me first do that. And as you can hear, the sound becomes a little bit duller. And at around noon, we're not hearing anything anymore. I asked LB what this is all about, and what this knob does is actually attenuate the signal that you send into the CV input. So it makes sense that when you attenuate that signal, that the Vectral does not open so far. And yeah, it's like turning down the frequency on a filter a little bit. Then there's this switch which has 3 settings, and the setting of this switch sets the frequency of, not the filter but the low pass gate. And now we're at the highest setting, so the middle position of this switch is the highest setting. Then there's the lowest setting to the left. And you can hear very clearly that this is a little bit less bright. So this is the middle position again. And then the right position, indicated by this half full triangle, is setting somewhere in between those two extremes. Let's quickly move to the second channel. This really sounds completely different. And I think the second channel really shows us why this is a resonant low-pass gate. And by the way, this LED and this one as well mimics the behavior of the CV input. And again here, when I turn this knob to the right, the CV input gets attenuated and the sound going through the low-pass gate becomes a little bit less bright, and you can also see that the LED gets dimmer while we turn the knob to the right. Again, we have this switch. We're on the brightest setting. Let me flick it to the left, which is the lowest setting. And I just mean that, yeah, when you look at it as a filter, which it's clearly not, but the left setting is with a filter cutoff a little bit lower, so there's more high frequencies that are being cut out. So this is the brightest setting again. And then, yeah, the halfway setting. But as I said, we can link these channels by just sending a signal into the first input and one CV signal into the first CV input. You can send another signal into the second CV input, which then controls the behavior of the second low-pass gate. Let me switch this to the brightest setting. Let me switch the top one to the brightest setting as well. No, I did that wrong. That was the least bright setting. Let me switch them to the center position. Yeah, sometimes I get confused. And let me send the sequence into the DOC. And I really find that this sounds lovely. What you can also do is send another signal here. Let me use synced stepped random, or a clocked stepped random, I should say. And let me add some reverb and delay to this. As a delay, I'm still using the 1-bit multi-tap delay by Feedback modules, which I really like. And I'll add some reverb from Effects 8 XL, maybe a little bit less. Maybe I turn off the reverb altogether, because it kind of masks the behavior of the low-pass gate. But let me add some drums to this as well. Let me change this stepped random to maybe a triangle wave. So now it's a slow moving triangle wave, and you can see it because the LED represents, well, not entirely what we're sending in, but it tells us what the effect is of what we're sending in. Let's switch it back to the stepped random. Let me send in a pulse wave instead of a ramp wave coming from the DOC. Yeah, this sounds really lovely, at least in my opinion. Let me kill the delay once again. And let me send in a triangle wave. Let's remove the CV signal from the second CV input. So now both the low pass gates are triggered by the same gate pattern here. Let me tune up the VCO. I know some people get anxiety by retuning their VCOs, like freehand, but it's something that you should try if you're doing any kind of modulation. Don't be afraid to retune your VCOs. And by retune, I just mean turning the coarse knob without having one care in the world about what pitch it's at. You can always worry about that later. So that's going to be it for this very short video about the Herzlich Labs OMEN. I really like the sound of this guy here. Once again, thank you very much, Albi, for sending me this unit. And to anyone watching this video, I hope you learned something. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.